welcome back to another episode of the Somer Sports Broadcast. I am Benny. I'm here with
Brandon, Phillip.
And today, Super Bowl 59 just took place, and the Eagles came to play. The Chiefs come into this matchup looking to join Somers. Team Penske and NASCAR trying to three-peat, and the Eagles got off to a hot start, going up 7-0 early to start, and then in the second quarter, they got a field goal to go up 10-0. Eagles looking good, but that is where the Chiefs wanted them, up 10-0. However, then Mahomes, instead of coming back down 10-0 like he always does in the Super Bowl, throws a pick six to Cooper DeJean. Amazing play by Cooper DeJean, who runs it back for a touchdown to go up 17-0. And then before halftime, A.J. Brown catches a touchdown to go up, another amazing touchdown to go up 24-0. A shock here at halftime. And third quarter, Eagles go up 27-0. This would be the biggest comeback if the Chiefs are able to pull it off in Super Bowl history, passing the 28-3 comeback. But then the Eagles, I think this is what sealed it. The Eagles getting the touchdown. Jalen Hurts throws to Devontae Smith to go up 34-0. So Eagles just dominating the Super Bowl. A great performance by the Eagles. And then Mahomes, the Eagles defense gave up a little bit. Mahomes, Xavier Worthy basically was the whole next drive. Xavier Worthy got the touchdown. They went for two, did not get it. Eagles kick a field goal, then they kick another field goal, so it's 40-6. Eagles have basically won the game. Chiefs score two more touchdowns. One goes to DeAndre Hopkins, another amazing touchdown to Xavier Worthy, and get the 2-point conversions for both those touchdowns. But the Eagles are going to take it 40-22, and with that Eagles victory, that's going to prove that Somers the only real football team that can three-peat. Now let's take a look how everyone did on their Super Bowl predictions.
Well, I'm going to go with the Eagles because I will always be a Saquon Barkley fan.
All right, big Super Bowl Sunday coming up. I'm thinking Philadelphia Eagles by a score of 27-24.
I think the Eagles are going to win by a score of 21-17.
I think the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl 21-7.
I have the Kansas City Chiefs beating the Eagles, and the final score is going to be 27-24.
I'm going to say Eagles 24, Chiefs 17.
My prediction for the Super Bowl is the Kansas City Chiefs 35, the Eagles 28.
Chiefs 34-24.
I'm going to go with the Chiefs, and that's because I don't like anything from Philadelphia. I'm a Met fan. I can't like any Philly team.
And my Super Bowl prediction for this year is the Eagles beating the Chiefs 27-24.
Personally, I think that the Eagles are going to win. I'm tired of the Chiefs always winning.
I think the Chiefs are going to win because the NFL wants them to win, and I think it'll be 31-28.
I dislike both teams intensely, but I'm going to go 30-27 Chiefs.
I think the Chiefs are going to win Super Bowl 59.
Chiefs win 32-27.
I think the Chiefs are going to win.
Kansas City Chiefs, final score 28-24.
Chiefs win 28-14.
I'm going Chiefs. Once the Bills are out, hoping for Mahomes to have a third. Seems like a good guy.
I think the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so for the Super Bowl, I do have the Eagles coming out on top, depending if the Chiefs can stop the run game. I have the Eagles coming out on top 35-31.
I have the opposite. I have the Chiefs winning 42-31.
Again, field goal range to win 33-30. I have the Chiefs taking it. All right, so a lot of rights, a lot of wrongs. Most of the people got it wrong, however. So Eagles surprising most people like they are. But now let's get on to the player of the game for the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts won MVP in real life, and I do agree with that. He had an amazing performance, and I think he definitely deserved that award.
I agree with Benny. Jalen Hurts, pretty good performance. Definitely outperformed Patrick Mahomes then.
Yeah, I also got to agree with Benny and Brandon. It was a pretty great game by Jalen Hurts.
What moment do you think sealed it for the Eagles to win the Super Bowl? And I think it happened in the third quarter. The Chiefs are an amazing team. I felt like a chance throughout the game that they could easily come back. But I think when they went up 34-0, the Eagles, with that Devontae Smith long touchdown, I think that's what sealed it for the Eagles.
I think just halftime, the score then was pretty much it. Morale in the Chiefs locker room was definitely not high at that time.
I think those interceptions really sealed it. The second interception by Zach Bond, and the first one that was a pick six on Cooper DeJean for his birthday. I think those two interceptions really sealed it.
what was the best play of Super Bowl 59? There was a lot of good plays. I'm going to say, first off, the Cooper DeJean pick six was a phenomenal play. Probably play of the game, especially because the Eagles won. But another play that people don't talk about that much, because I was at the end when the Chiefs were scoring garbage points, that amazing second touchdown for Xavier Worthy, who got it. It was an amazing catch if you take a look back at it. Probably one of the best throws that Mahomes has had all year. I know the Eagles defense wasn't playing that hard at that point as they already secured the victory, but still an amazing play and touchdown for the Chiefs.
My best play was Jalen Hurts to Devontae Smith, the touchdown there.
I also have the Cooper DeJean pick six, but I do also think that in the beginning of the game, that Jahan Dotson catch that was so close to being a touchdown, it was a great catch, great athletic ability by him, but it eventually led to a tush-push touchdown.
What was the key for the Eagles' victory? And I think I've talked about this before. It's basically was the Eagles' defense really had to show up, and they had to pull away. They had to make it more than a one-score game. That is exactly what the Eagles did, especially as the game went on, and that is how the Eagles won. And just their defense, dominant defense, probably looked the best they've looked all season. They looked great all season. Just an impressive performance by the Eagles' defense. That's exactly what they needed to do.
Yeah, I'm also going to say the defense, but more specifically, I'm going to say that secondary. I predicted in the last episode that Cooper DeJean would get an interception against Mahomes, and he did. He's a great cornerback, and really want to see what he's going to do next.
I have the defense as well. I mean, they just locked down Patrick Mahomes and his offense for the first half and some of the second half.
All right, now let's talk about how Mahomes did in that game. So he was sacked 6 times in that game. An amazing job by that Eagles defensive line. 2 interceptions, one to Zach Bond, to the linebacker, and then the other one was to Cooper DeJean, obviously, for a pick six. They were great on putting pressure on Mahomes. They quick little passes, couldn't get enough. I think if Mahomes was better, I mean, he did throw for 3 touchdowns, but that was just when the Eagles were just, throwing their backups out there, and Xavier Worthy could just outrun them. So Mahomes also, he did throw for 3 touchdowns, but Eagles, backups in, it's up 34-0. I mean, it's just playing backups at this point. Even Kenny Pickett could say he's a starter in the game.
Let's recap the latest in Somers sports.
Yeah, so boys varsity basketball. On the 10th, Somers did unfortunately lose by 5 to Hen Hud. Somers now 3-16. Santor with 21 points and Spano with 17. Pretty good games by them.
And now let's see what Chris Decker had to say about his performance.
All right, so I am here with Chris Decker, and how do you feel about your performance tonight?
I think I did pretty good tonight. I gave it my all. Trying to battle back, get in the playoffs, and show whoever we play in the playoffs what's up.
All right, and what will you do to prepare for your next matchup?
Just practice harder, get on everybody, and make them work harder every day.
And who do you feel played the best tonight?
Honestly, I don't think anyone played the best. We all try to play together. We're trying to make do some new stuff, and it's working out. It's just little by little every day.
All right, well, thank you.
And now on February 7th, Somers played against John Jay in a tough matchup. They lost 64-46. Santor had 12 points. Decker had 8 points with 10 rebounds. Let's see some post-game interviews now.
Alright, so I'm here with Coach James, and how do you feel about your performance tonight?
You know what? I was exceptionally proud with how we played the second half. Our first half was a struggle to play defense and get stops, and we challenged them at halftime. I'll give credit to Coach Violante. He challenged them at halftime to play a little bit harder and more aggressive, and it's exactly what they did. And we just, we fell short, but can't ask for anything else other than that effort. So
that was amazing comeback. Yeah. So what adjustments did you make with the coaching staff throughout this game?
So we kind of threw a lot at them in the second half. We went from zone to man, back to man to zone. So we kind of threw a lot at them in the second half. Figured if we stayed in one type of defense, we could have held it together with them. So we just kind of switched it up and then challenged them to play a little bit harder in that second half.
All right, and what will you do to prepare for your next matchup?
Yeah, our last game versus Panis. We played them here before, we won, but you can never take a team when you play them twice slightly, no matter what that first result was. So, our game plan will stay the same, play hard, play tough, but, we'll have an exciting last game of the season over at Panis. So.
Looking back on this season, how do you think it went, and was there anything that you learned?
Listen, you know what? That's a great question, because when you look at our record, everyone would be like, it's a disappointment. Yeah, does it stink to lose? Of course it does. we didn't even expect to be at this record kind of coming in here. But I've learned, and these guys have taught me a lot, and something I'll continue to tell them is continuing to show up when it's very hard and very difficult to show up, especially when you're losing so many games like we have. That's what they taught me a lot this year. Just have a positive mindset, show up every day, and that's how you attack life. So that's one thing I'll take away from this season.
Looking back at your season, what was probably your favorite moment?
My favorite moment, that's a tough one. My favorite moment had to have been our win versus Clarkstown North. I think it was a game that we were very undersized, and to see the excitement in the locker room after that game brought joy to this entire team. So it was a fun game in that sense, but definitely a fun moment of this year.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So I'm here with
Coach Violante.
Now, how do you feel about the team's performance tonight?
Very proud of the effort the boys put to come back after being down 22 points, but unbelievably frustrated with another loss. It's such a great group of guys, come every day to practice and work, and just frustrated they weren't able to get the win.
Yeah, you gotta see the bright side of it. It's a huge comeback, really close game. Now, what adjustments did you or the coaching staff make for the Tuscaloosa this game?
Well, for this game, we've been pretty consistent what we're trying to do defensively with some man-to-man stuff. We do different things within our man-to-man. We switch, we hard hedge. We worked on some 3-2 zones, some 2-3 zone, a little bit of a 1-2-2 press. But adjustments in the game, we really just challenge them to just play with effort. Win this game for the seniors. We have 3 seniors, and this was their last time they're going to ever step on this court wearing that Somers uniform. So the biggest adjustment was just challenge them to win for those 3 seniors.
Yeah, definitely a big game. Now, what will you do to prepare for your next matchup?
We play Panis, who we already beat by, I think, 15 plus, 20 plus. So, it's such a great group of kids. We have so much fun together in practice. So, we'll have some fun in practice. We'll look at some game tape of what we did successfully against Panis and what we need to work on. And, hopefully just have the same outcome with the win against Panis.
Yeah. All right. I wish you the best with Panis.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate everything you guys do. Thank you.
All right, so I'm here with Chris Mano, and how do you feel about your performance today and the team's performance tonight?
I thought we came out really slow in the first half. I actually was scoring a little bit in the first half, but I couldn't finish around the rim in the second half, so if I finished around the rim in the second half and we played more as a team in the first half, it would have been a completely different game. So it's not only on my teammates, it's on me too. I could have finished a lot better. I missed a free throw. There was stuff for us to clean up on both ends, and they shot the ball really well. So.
And what will you do to prepare for your next matchup?
I think after this final home game, we're pretty sure we can't make the playoffs now. So I think that we have a lot of motivation going into this game. We want to end on a little bit of a higher note, even though not making the playoffs sucks. We would like to definitely all win. So we're going to come to practice with that mentality of getting a win. Yeah.
And who do you feel played the best tonight?
I think that Chris Decker was a game changer just because of how tough he is, and that's just how he is. He gets people hyped up. And then Phil played great too. Like always, he made big free throws. He made some big threes. Made some great assists to me. So I think those two right there, Phil and Chris, really stood out. So yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm here with Timmy Monahan, and how do you feel you and the team performed tonight?
We started off slow, but we finished pretty strong. Didn't end up winning, but we played hard at the end.
And what will you do to prepare for your next matchup?
Against Panis, practice hard every day and try to get another win before the season's over.
Thank you.
And then finally, we have the girls varsity basketball game, regular season finale, and Somers started off hot, going up 9-0, but then it was all Panis. Panis, one of the best teams in girls varsity basketball, dominated to win 61-36, and Somers moves to 6-14 on this season. But because they have 6 wins, they do make the playoffs. Most likely will be a 14, 15, or 16 seed. And let's see what Coach Mallon had to say after that game.
Alright, so I am here with girls varsity basketball coach, Coach Mallon. And how do you feel about the team's performance tonight?
We lost. It's never fun to lose, but Walter Panis is
really one of the top teams in New York State. Won states 2 years ago. Last year lost in the final. I was really proud of the way we came out. We went up 9-0, which was awesome to see. But then once Pandas scored, they kind of spiraled. They got into their full court press, which is what they're most dangerous at, and they turned us over, and that's where it kind of spiraled. It got a little away from us. So it's never fun to lose, but playing against that caliber of a team, it's very tough.
What coaching adjustments did you make in this game?
Some adjustments we made are just how we're going to beat their press, which is hard because they run their press extremely well. The main focus was just a lot of good pass fakes. If you don't make a pass fake against them, they're going to deflect it and go the other way. Always having a girl middle against the zone is really big. So those are some adjustments we made throughout the game.
What will you do to prepare for your first playoff matchup?
So we'll most likely play next Thursday. We don't know who we're going to play yet, so to answer that, it's kind of tough. But once we know who we're going to play, we'll watch some film on them and just get ready for that matchup.
And finally, looking back at the regular season, how do you feel about how it went?
I'm really proud of the girls. Our record is not where we want it to be. We've kind of went on a skid to end the season. We've played a really difficult schedule against a lot of talented teams. So I think playing the better teams is really going to help us in the long run. And I hope we can win a playoff game in the future.
All right, well, thank you.
You got it. Thanks, Penny. Appreciate it.
The first girls playoff game is on February 20th, 2025. So looking ahead to next season, some news for Somers varsity football. So first off, to start off the season, it's been announced that Somers will take on Iona Prep. This is the battle of the two best teams in New York. And yeah, they'll take on each other in week 0 of the 2025 season. And then the latest news for Somers class next year, as you may have heard, they may be moving down to Class B. However, there is a way for them to stay in Class A, and that is they have to combine with North Salem. And that also has to be approved by the Class A and Class B coaches. And we'll see what happens there.
Some NFL news. Saints hire Kellen Moore as their new head coach. It's great for the Saints to have a really good head coach. Not too good for Kellen Moore. And this is because, obviously the Saints have really, really bad cap room for cap space and free agency. They're paying so many people right now. And some other news, the Jets and Aaron Rodgers have made the decision that Aaron Rodgers will be moving on from the Jets in 2025 just to end that little era that he had. Some news in the NBA. Quickly, Jimmy Butler was traded to the Warriors.
Back to Aaron Rodgers. Where do you think he's going to go next? What do you see happening?
I do see him. He might retire. I don't think he really wants to ruin his legacy if he does bad another year, but I do see him going to the Raiders. Pete Carroll there is an amazing head coach, and they're trying to rebuild. They're trying to win now, so I think he could definitely go there.
I think he'll retire, go to the Saints, but I think it would be best for him to retire, as I think he's served his time in the NFL, and it's just time for him to move on and let some of the younger quarterbacks have a shot.
Yeah, I think there's really only 3 teams that make sense for him. First off, the Raiders, a team which sounds like they're trying to go on and not really rebuild, and even if they draft a rookie quarterback, he'd be a good mentor. Aaron Rodgers would be, along with Pete Carroll and Tom Brady as a top manager. But another destination you could go to is the Saints. Saints just hired Kellen Moore, and I feel like they have the weapons there to win. And then finally, and I hope this doesn't happen as I'm a Sam Darnold fan, but if it doesn't work out with Sam Darnold, he may wind up repeating exactly what Brett Favre did and go to the Vikings after the Jets to end his career.
And now we're going to predict NASCAR 2025 champion. Philip, who do you think it's going to be?
I think it's going to be Kyle Larson. He's very dominant. I really think he's going to win the NASCAR this year.
I think, Kyle Larson, as you know, I'm a big Kyle Larson fan. He has not won since 2021. Last few years, he probably should have won. He's been basically the best driver, but Team Penske has been really lucky in the playoffs. But I think this is the year Kyle Larson finally does it.
Yeah, I agree with Larson. He's a great driver. He's up there. And then I think also Elliott could be in the contention for a championship as well.
Yeah, and this coming weekend, after this episode comes out, we have next NASCAR races at Atlanta. And, Brandon, who do you see winning that one?
I think Byron's going to win this one.
Yeah, and this is a track where it's a super speedway. Basically anyone could win. it's kind of like Daytona and Talladega. I think it's going to come down right to the end. It's going to be close finish, but I think it's going to be Austin Cindric of Team Penske who gets the win here. So next up, looking back at Super Bowl 59, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, they are great QBs. They have proven that. But after this Super Bowl 59 game, where do they rank all time? And I'll get started off. Mahomes, I think after this game, if he won this game, he would have proven himself to be definitely a top 3. But after this loss, I still think he's a top 5. He has won 3 Super Bowls, and I'm sure he's still going to win some more. But being blown out in 2 Super Bowls does affect it a little bit, but I'd still put him at the same level as Peyton Manning and Joe Montana. Jalen Hurts, however, I know he just had a great performance, and people may be saying he's a top 10 of all time. No, they're overhyping him. He's probably a top 25 at best, maybe top 20. And just because he has one great game, which also had to do a lot with the Eagles' defense, doesn't mean he's a top QB.
Yeah, I have both of them making the top 20, but only Mahomes making the top 10.
I also agree with that, but I have Mahomes top 7. His first 2 Super Bowls that he lost, Patrick Mahomes, he's been down by so much. In Brady's first bunch of Super Bowls, he hasn't been down by that much. I think that point differential really seals for me. Maybe Mahomes is probably 7th or 6th. Jalen Hurts, his first Super Bowl that he lost, he did pretty good in that game. He obviously didn't have someone like Saquon Barkley or a team like that, but they did do really good that year. So for me, it's going to be Hurts is in probably the top 20 and Mahomes top 7.
Now, we're going to look ahead to the 2025 season. The official schedule hasn't come out yet, but the opponents have, and we're going to discuss who has the hardest and easiest schedule going into the next NFL season. And let's get started off with the hardest. I got the Giants. So first off, they're just a horrible team, the worst team last year. They still got a lot to figure out. I know they have Malik Neighbors, but that's basically it. And then in addition to that, they're playing a lot of good teams. Some of those teams are the Chiefs, Eagles, Packers, Vikings, Lions, Commanders, 49ers. I believe they also play some tough division opponents.
Yeah, I have the Lions. Hard schedule, but they're a good team. I think they're going to be competitive.
Yeah, I also have the Giants, and I also have the Lions. I see the Lions. I think they're actually going to do good this year. It's going to be some tough matchups, but I do think they're going to win most of them. Probably go 12-5. Also some divisional games, such as the Packers and Vikings, and then the Bears, but the Bears are pretty easy to beat. So I have the Giants and Lions.
And now let's talk about the easiest schedule. So I think looking at all the schedules, it's no brainer. The 49ers, so they're playing a last place schedule as they came last in their division. And in addition to that, they're playing the AFC South and NFC South, the 2 worst divisions, I think, in the NFL. And they're going to be a lot better this year, hopefully getting McCaffrey back, doing good. They're going to get a lot of wins. I think it should be pretty easy for them.
Yeah, they're going to cruise right through the season.
Yeah, I also have the Niners, too. I mean, they play the NFC, like Benny said, AFC South and NFC South. I think the only trouble that they're really going to have, I think maybe the Texans and Bucks. I mean, if Baker Mayfield's a really good quarterback, so is C.J. Stroud, the weapons around them. I see those 2 being close games.
Yeah, and next up is our track interview.
We're here with Lou Mesa from the Somers track team. We're going to be interviewing him today, talking about his experience doing track. Philip, you want to start us off?
All right, first question we have for you, how long have you been doing track?
I've been doing track since my freshman year spring season.
Spring season, all right. And for your events for each season, what are those, winter and spring?
Winter, I do 55-meter hurdles. Yeah, that's pretty much it from every meet.
And then your spring?
Spring, I do 110, 100, 200.
Nice. So on to the next one, how did you come to determine these were the events you wanted to do? What felt right for you?
I'm primarily a hurdler, so my spring freshman year, we're doing field event days, which you two know. So Lacko, our coach, asked me to get Jack Stoker. So I just joined him for the field event days. And it was we were practicing hurdles that day. And that's pretty much where I got my hurdling.
How would you define success as a track athlete?
It's pretty much you being fine with your times. It's a primarily individual sport. So Like, if you are fine with your times, then that's success for you. So it's your success.
So what's your proudest moment for being a track athlete?
It's probably sophomore year spring season. So I was going to the season at a 22.25 110 hurdle time. Then first meet out, I got a 18.97. That's
crazy.
So I PR'd by 3 seconds.
It's amazing.
Nice winter back.
Yeah. And what are you gonna do to keep getting better?
Train and a lot of that. So like hurdle days, weekends.
Final question. You're obviously a junior now. What are your goals for spring season and senior year?
Spring season, I'm aiming for sub 17.5 in 110. And for senior, I'm aiming to be one of the top hurdlers in this section.
That's great. Good goals. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course.
All right, so before we go, we're going to look ahead to Super Bowl 60. And what do you see happening? Who do you see making the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl for Super Bowl 60 next year?
So I have a couple teams that I'm willing to see. So I see the Bills might probably gonna make it. I do see the Lions. I see and I also see the Bengals. I think if they can get that defensive situation sorted out, restructured Joe Burrow's contract, re-sign T. Higgins, I see the Bengals. I could see the Bengals easily making it as long as they don't have to play the Chiefs. But I do think that they're gonna beat the Chiefs, and I also have the Eagles making it as well.
I can see a Lions-Chiefs Super Bowl, and I think that'll be maybe a bit more exciting than this year.
You see the Chiefs making it back in 1 year after their performance?
You can't let one bad or good performance define how a team's next year or rest of the season is going to go.
Yeah,
as an athlete, you know that you're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days, and some okay days. That's just part of being an athlete.
That is true. And I think Chiefs, they'll make it back maybe eventually. But I think this is going to be the Bills' year coming up. I think the Bills take on the Eagles. The Eagles make it back to the Super Bowl. And this time, it's the Bills who are going to have a great dominant game to win 37-20. That is my Super Bowl 60 prediction. I want to thank everyone for watching. We are the Somers Sports Broadcasting Club. See you next week. Irby Somers' ball. It looked like it was Hen Huck's ball, and it's going to go in! 2 points! What a comeback! Folks, we may have one of the biggest comebacks in high school history. This is crazy, folks. And now it's going to be a 1-point game if Santora is able to get this. What a game. What a coaching job done by Coach James and the Tuskers. It goes up. It goes in. They really need the Tuskers. What a comeback this would be if they're able to get it done.
Katie Brown goes to Emery. Outside. Now he's inside. Passes in. Does not get 3 points.
He's in the hoop and rolls out. Coming with the ball now.